Hi, we're locking down the truth with Marcy Locke, doing our traveling workouts. We are on a beach. And just literally have the backpacks is all we've got, going from bus to city to city. So say that you're hanging out on the beach, you didn't get a workout in, or you want to, get something in while you're here. You can use, I'm going to show more target areas, exercises that you can do just sitting on your towel. But I am going to show you a couple different moves also for your main muscles in your legs, which is your quads and your hams, that you can be able to do a whole body workout if you want to. But this is a great area for just kind of using the band and rocking out some target areas and getting some shape and tone in. So with any band, just like the ones I normally have and use, you can just tie the circle around them to be about this size. I'm just going to use this one because this allows me to not have to deal with the knot. So if you've got one like that, or just use your band like this. If it bothers you at all, you can have a small towel that you just put in right here. But so I'm going to show you those main muscles first, just so that you could do a whole body workout if you wanted to. You can actually lock in a band underneath one foot, and if I wanted to lock my leg in like I'm in a leg extension machine at the gym, and I can just take one leg up. Ow, I feel that. See, I'm extending up here, come up on top, so you can see the quad contracts. This is how you do a correct leg extension. I let it come down. Just now, tiny movement in this position. If I'm on a leg extension machine at the gym, normally I see people go phew, 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 phew. Huge movement. It's just tiny. You can go all the way up and extend, contract, barely come down before you lose that contraction, extend again. So in this position, I can only go right there, and I'm losing the contraction. So I'm going to go right here. But see, I am really burning. See this quad working right here? Really burning my quad out. So I could do 10 and then 10 little minis, and then back to my 10 singles, or I could do 20 with my 10 minis, my 10 static. Check that out. That's burning, it hurts. Okay, I could, so again, obviously I'm going to be doing one leg at a time in this type of position. The other thing I can really focus on, ladies, you love that like inner thigh muscle showing up when you do like plie squats or things. A lot of people have a hard time getting really good muscle tone right here. Turn the toe out, okay, and I can do a straight leg extension now, and I'm just going to lift and drop, lift and drop. But you see how I'm working this right here? I'm actually targeting this area right here, kind of my inner thigh, but also the top of my quad, that adductor muscle and the meniscus, okay? And so then I'm really targeting that area. Then I'm going to stay up tall, and I'm going to hit those little minis. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you make nice little cute level 10 faces on the beach, okay? So that's right there, quad, if I want to do my whole body, okay? Then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to show you guys a couple that you can use for your hamstrings, the back of the quad. Okay, obviously, one you can do anywhere using a bench or just on the ground. Is my bridging, squeezing up. Okay, always making your body a table. I want to go up as high as possible. Like I'm trying to arch my pelvis up in the air as high as possible, because then I'm squeezing these hamstrings and my butt right here, okay? So just barely drop down, squeeze, and hold. Barely drop down, squeeze. So these are just my singles. Then I can stay up here and squeeze. This looks awesome. For minis, okay? Now how I can take this to even more advanced is I can do one leg at a time, or I can even add the band, which I'll show you. So I could even just without the band go right here, okay? And again, I can add this on top of a bench as well. Lots of benches always on the beach, or using a straight band right here, pull this down, and boom, I got a ton of resistance right here, okay? And then I can do my minis. 7, 8, 9, 10, my holds, etc. Okay, the other thing I can do without the band there is I can cross my leg, trying to point my knee towards the ground and my hip up as high as possible in the air. I can go here and just add a little bit more resistance without having a band. Okay, so I'm working actually my butt and my hamstring here. Okay, so that's one hamstring move that's pretty easy to do anywhere with anything. You can hand all over. Okay, the other one, which is one of my favorites for hamstrings, I love to do this with a weight at the gym. But obviously, I'm on a beach and I got bands. So I'm gonna shift this a little bit and modify. Normally, I put a dumbbell or a weight right here. I'd lock it in and flex my foot, and I can take my leg up towards the sky to work the hamstring. So I'm gonna instead use my band, okay? And I'm just gonna take it up and then back down, up and back down. Now, if this bothers you at all, then just put a towel right there, okay? I can even, if I want to really secure that, I can kneel on it and take it up and back down. So my goal is to get to that 90-degree angle and then barely drop it back down. So I'm working my hamstring. The downfall with this is just that you're usually doing one side at a time. So it's like if you're just kind of have the time or you're doing target exercises. So there's your quads and your hams. That would be if you're doing your whole lower body here, then you want to start off with those so that you work those major muscles first. Now let's just talk about just getting into target areas, okay? So now let's say you're going to do your outer thighs. Okay, a couple different variations or moves. If I've got a band like this, I can obviously do, I can even just right here, I could just extend. But what makes it a little bit more focused on those outer thighs is I just hit right here and barely back in. Okay, so this would be if I tied my band in a circle like this. Okay, the other variation with this would be just take the band either right below your knees or right above your knees if you want to sit. You want to tie it really tight and squeeze here. Okay, so it's like just like an outer thigh machine at the gym, but I'm controlling it. See how I control it? I stop right there. I don't bring it all the way in where I'm losing it. Okay, so I control it out and barely back in. Control it out, barely back in, and then I'm burning out and do my minis. Okay, so now my favorite that I do a lot, even if I'm at the gym, I grab my band, short, sweet, and effective. And I can really burn out those outer thighs, both of them at once, is to put my band under my feet, okay, cross my band over, call these outer thigh V's because I'm making a V. Okay, I pull this down for tight resistance and I extend it out. Watch how my feet are straight, okay, so it's in my, I'm feeling it right here in my outer thighs, okay, so I barely come back in. This is my singles, okay, I want really tight resistance. I'll do like 10 and then 10 minis. And then 10 singles, 10 minis, 10 singles, 10 minis. Just keep burning out. I might have to, mini break. Okay, and then I jump back in and I do several sets of minis until I'm fried out. This fly is liking down here too. So this is my favorite outer thigh one with the band because it's just really effective. Okay, now watch how I can switch some variation too. Is now I can turn my toes in towards each other. Same thing, really tight resistance. I can barely squeeze it out and barely let it come back in. And now I'm hitting actually more of my hamstring and my butt, more in that area that women really are always like, I can't get that saddlebag part, that 45-degree angle part. Okay, so I can squeeze out, barely in, squeeze out, barely in, and do my several sets of minis and just burn it out. Fry, mini break, jump back in. Okay, so there's your outer thighs, just like that. You could, and I'm gonna actually show you some variations using a bench too, because there's usually always a bench on a beach as well. So let's say inner thighs, okay? Using your band for your inner thighs, you want to put it under your leg on the ground, pull it up like this, cross your leg over and step on it, okay? And now you're gonna flex your foot and you're just gonna squeeze and lift. So this all depends on the amount of resistance you pull here and then you step on it. So lift and down. Lift and down, and I'm really focusing in on and just concentrating on that inner thigh right there. And then I'm going to rock out some minis, do lots of different variations of speed. Your body adjusts and then it plateaus. You always want to keep your body guessing. So I might do single counts and then rock out some minis, and then I do 4 counts. So I do hold it for 4 and then down, hold it for 3 little 3 pulse counts up high and then down, just rocking out a long set variation till it really fries out. So there's on the ground, okay, my inner thighs. Now my favorites, okay, for the butt area, we want that rock solid hard butt, right, is we're gonna take, this is one I already have ready, so I have a really tiny circle on this one, okay, so I'm gonna show you all the ones you're gonna do on your knees. Actually, before you even, one you can do without the band, show this real quick, laying on your stomach, hitting that butt area. Say you hit your quads, your hams, your inner, your outer. Now you're like, how do I really hit my butt without having a band? This one. Your knees out. You might need a wider towel, but it's a wide knee butt lift. So your knees are out wide like a frog, okay? Heels together. Your goal is to lift, watching from the side, lift my legs up. They barely drop down. And I lift up, barely drop down. The only challenge is that you need padding under your crotch, or it hurts if it's hard. So you can't do this on a rock hard floor. Sand you might get away with, but you want a mat or something so you can be able to handle this. Barely down. So the whole time, see, I'm squeezing my butt. It goes up high, barely drops down. So then I'll rock out my minis up high too. Yeah, this sand is not the most soft. I'm not doing too many of these, okay? So there's a butt move right there without having a band. Now, tying my band not around both my heels, but just like this. Tie my band so that it would fit over just one foot, like that. Really tight, small, okay? I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of these. Let's do, I'll come this direction. Okay, prone extensions first. So the whole goal is fatigue creates change. So you could go do a prone extension on one side, then do it on the other side. How I rather do it and teach my groups to do it is fatigue out one side so that it really creates change, and then let's fatigue out the other side versus back to back, back and back, back and back. So I'm going to do all of the exercises on one side. You might want to, actually I'm going to switch legs so then you can see a little bit better here. Okay, so first one, now I wrap this around the band, I pull the band really tight, and then I'm going to put my knee on it. But I want to have this tight resistance on it before my knee goes down on it. Okay, and I do my prone extension, which prone just means I'm stomach down. Okay, I'm going to extend my leg out, always a soft knee. If I lock out my knee, then the pressure is going to be in my knee and behind my knee versus in the area that I'm working. Okay, so I'm going to lift and extend this up, prone extension. So barely, see how a tiny softness in my knee? I lift this up as high as I can go, okay? Without, notice my back, my core is locked. I don't go, and shove my back up or down. Locking my core, and it stays from basically my hips down, okay, or my butt down. And notice, I don't drop this all the way down here either, or I've lost it. I want to keep the contraction, keep the resistance. I barely drop, extend up. So I'm gonna rock out 20 of these, and then do my minis, my 10 minis, my static hold, my 10 minis, okay? That's my prone extension. Okay, then I'm gonna go right into, take my leg out as far as I can. I'm gonna do a rainbow. So nice and controlled, I lift up and create a rainbow and over. Now, whenever I'm doing a move where my body is moving up here, I wanna try to keep my hip bones over my knees or in the same place. I'm not leaning or twisting. I want to try to keep this locked in and squeeze up and over and up and back. Okay, and I don't have to drop it to the floor either if I lose my contraction. It's just over. Okay, so that's one. Each direction is one. So I'm going to rock out 20 of those, then do my minis out here. My holds, and take it over to the other side. You might need a mini break in between those, okay? So that's my rainbows. Okay, then I'm gonna go into my band, my 90-degree extensions, kind of like that dumbbell ham lift. We want a 90-degree angle, my foot flex, always pretending my heel is trying to kick out the ceiling or go towards the sky. I like to even go down lower on my elbows, and that creates a little bit more resistance or a little bit more range of motion I have to achieve. So say I barely drop down, kick it up. I barely drop down to where I'm feeling it, right there. If I go any lower, I've kind of lost it. So extend up, back down. You're gonna feel these. Okay, and then you take it up high, 3, 4, 5. For those minis, okay, and your holds, back down. Okay, so those are my 90-degree angles. Now staying on the same side. This is where I'm gonna turn my body a little bit, but trying to keep, again, my hip bones in the right spot. Because I'm gonna kick my leg out towards the sky, bring it in sideways, kind of like a fire hydrant to the side. Bring it in sideways. It comes in a vertical or horizontal plane. I'm like, wait, which one's which? Vertical is up high. Horizontal plane, you're gonna come back up towards your shoulder, okay? And then sky to shoulder. Sky to shoulder. My little boy's name is Skylar. I call him Sky. So that's a good little reminder. Okay, and then again, taking it out, my minis are gonna be right here. Holds, and then my minis, okay? You don't have to do all of these in a row. You can do as many as you want to do, but this is just all the awesome target exercises you can really rock out, be able to get results, okay? So now, same position. See, I don't even have to move my positioning. I just rock out 20, like, whew, okay. Next one, I'm gonna cross my ankles. Okay, it's like I'm doing we call them 45-degree angle fire hydrants, because normally a fire hydrant is right here, so it's really not too good on your hip bones and more flexibility. This seems to be a lot more natural. So you cross your ankles, extend it up and back, and you can do this. I did this the other day with a dumbbell in my legs, and that works really awesome too, but obviously we don't have a dumbbell, we're on a beach. So, cross it up, 45-degree angle back, and back down barely to where I feel that resistance pull, and back up. I don't want to lose the resistance, I want to keep it working for me. It's right here, and I'm going to rock out my minis right here. Ladies, ass, this, yes, that's what we're talking about, that's what we want, right? Okay, so those are all my favorites for on the leg. Now what you also could do, if you don't want to jump on the ground at all, but you want to hit some of those target areas, I'm going to actually show you just right over here using the bench. Because there's always a bench on a beach. Okay, tie it around anything. I've got it already set up like this. Okay, so I can do, holding on, I can do my outer thigh extensions right here. And I could advance this and really take this out and go into single leg squats at the same time. Okay, so I do my outer thigh extensions. I can rock out minis here, singles, minis, whatever I want to do. Rock out different variation speeds. So there's outer thigh and there's outer rear. So say that I'm going a 45-degree angle back. So I'm going to outer rear. You think of right in between outer and rear. 45-degree angles back. I'm going to go right here and back in. Right here and back in. Again, soft knee. I'm never locking my legs straight. It's soft. Extend back as far as I can and barely back in. Back. Then I'm going to rock out those. Notice too, I might be leaned over a little bit, but my core is like this. I'm never leaning like this. I'm never arched like this. I might have to support myself, but it stays where it's in my legs and my lower body, okay? And then my rear. With the position I've got it right here, I'd probably be smarter to turn right here and go right here. And I could also take this down underneath my foot, my heel, okay, and get a little closer and go here too. So you can do whatever variation works best, or that you feel it the most, but then you're going to do your, so you got outer thigh, 45-degree angles, and rear. The other variation, you can do your inner thighs right here. The standing inner thighs, okay, again, lock the heel, and you're just going to bring it in front of you. So you want to, I would want to stand out a little more. I'd need a little bit more resistance, but the goal is I'm feeling it here. So if I start to turn my, if I turn my heel in, my toe in, my knee, it's in my joints versus it being in my actual adductor muscle. So I want to really focus on that form, that this stays straight. Hold in, back out, in, back out. And see my goal, I'm stopping about right here where I'm still holding it. If I go here, I've lost it, okay? So I make this work for me, and then I'm going to do my minis. You also can, if this doesn't feel comfortable for any reason, you can, if you don't mind getting dirty, or jump on your towel. What I'll do with cable machines with my groups too is that they've got to, I probably pull in just a little bit, squeeze it in, and then barely back out. And back out. See, and I'm really working this inner thigh, and I'm going to rock out my minis. Boo, y'all. Those are some awesome target exercises. Hang out on the beach. Why the heck not, ladies? Get some target exercises in there. Rock out the firmness and the tone. You just locked it down with Marcy Lock.